So there's two hard questions there. Do retailers understand what their customers want? Well, of course, at one level they do, right? Because every day of their week they're sourcing, producing and delivering products and services that people want to buy. Perhaps the more interesting question is, do they understand what they really want? So the drive to big data, the drive to analytics, this nirvana of data science as being the answer. Well, what we're really doing there is we're asking better search type questions. There's one really important question if you want to understand your customers better, and that's why. And the why question is the hardest question to answer in the world. And to get real understanding, you have to move beyond the data and look at the people in far more detail. Loyalty is a subject which is not discussed as much as it should be. And for me, is my sort of pet obsession at the moment. I genuinely believe, and certainly when I'm going around the world talking to people, I'm hearing back that loyalty is going to be the battleground for the 21st century. So when we talk about stickiness, when we talk about experiences, as we've been doing quite a lot, when we think about the loyalty that is currently understood, it's usually a piece of plastic. It's a 20th century technology. It's driven around a points and discount system. And if I'm really lucky as a consumer, then some company may allow me to be loyal to it. And they give me something which says that I'm loyal, right? A piece of plastic. In the 21st century, if anyone believes that loyalty is that way around, then they need to get themselves detoxed, get sober, whatever it is, because it's changing. And loyalty is going to be about me allowing you as a retailer or any kind of organization, I'm going to share my loyalty with you rather than the other way around. And if we look at some of the fascinating industries which are developing at the moment around personal data management, around data broking of people's personal technologies, around the thinking that governments are going through around policies about how they enable those things, of course delivered by the ubiquity of technology, delivered by the security that blockchain technologies can put underneath that, but also a fundamental change in human nature for people in the 21st century who understand that their data has value and they're not going to share it unless you give them something that they want. When we talk about human science, people say, well, can you give me a practical example of that? What does that mean when it comes to buying? Human science enables us to understand better. And if we can understand better, we can do three things. We can understand those requirements which are not currently being met to the full. Now that may be around experiences. That often manifests itself in an omnichannel world around the dislocation between a digital channel and a physical channel. So being able to understand how that causes concern, anxiety, or more importantly, no desire to buy becomes important. It gets really interesting and where the value gets added when we think about it in the sense of, do we understand those services which are not just being met but underrepresented? And then it gets really interesting when we think about those services where no one has an idea of how that's going to look in the future. So it shows us white space. It shows us the ability to understand people and to be able to predict, not just in an algorithmic sense, the things that they will be wanting to do, consume, or buy in the future. The three challenges that retailers face, I think, are the joining up of service. So we're here today talking about omnichannel. So how do you bring those things together in a truly seamless way? The second thing is to be able to take the technologies which are changing the industry as we move forward. So hyper-personalization, for example, and how do you scale that? So how do you move from a period of time when we're proving things, when we're testing things, to actually bringing it to an industrial scale fast? And the third thing is the ability to read customers better, to be able to ask really hard questions like why, and the what and the how follow that.